Bricktopian. Hello everyone, it's Bricktopian, and this is a look at a recent LEGO Shadow the Hedgehog set. It is from the theme of Sonic the Hedgehog, and it is called Shadow the Hedgehog Escape. It is set number 76995. It has 196 pieces, and it is an 8+ set. It includes one minifigure, which is Shadow the Hedgehog himself. It will earn you 152 LEGO VIP points in the UK, and it is £18.99 in the UK. I really like this set, to start with. I think there's lots of good things about it. There's some things that are a bit tacky, perhaps, or a bit weird, or a bit pointless, perhaps, and a bit like pretentious, I would say. Like this, I think the mechanism, you can push down on that and it makes this come off and it makes this go up. I think it's a nice idea and I get it, but it feels a little bit forced, that mechanism, to make this set more appealing. It feels like they've put a lot of time into just doing that, when I think they could have made something different to this in the set. As cool as this is, I would personally prefer it if they just released the rest of the set and released it cheaper, for like an extra, maybe like £10 cheaper or £5 cheaper or whatever, and just released this stuff. To be honest with you, if anything, they could have just released just Shadow and the motorcycle, and I think that would have been perfect. I'm not saying the rest of the stuff is not good, it's just that, to me, this is a little bit too niche. When you've finished building it, I feel like some people will love this, but because it's sort of referencing different things, but it's not too specific, I feel like that it might just get put to one side on the display and you might not really use it much. And this is really nice, but I feel like this should have been in a different set because it doesn't really fit with Shadow, in my opinion. I feel like there's other things that would have fit better. I really feel like it was a missed opportunity to swap this for an E123 Amiga build. That would have been so much cooler, and it would have fit with Shadow so much better. Another thing that they could have done is got rid of this and replaced it with the Rouge minifigure. I know Rouge is in with Knuckles, in the Knuckles set, but I personally would have preferred it if they had Rouge with Shadow in this set. Had Rouge and Shadow, so had two minifigs, get rid of this. Had this as E123 Amiga and kept the bike. And they could have done that, because this would have been around the same piece count, or this, one of these two would have been around the same piece count as E123 Amiga, so it could have worked. And then surely one of these has got to be a value of a minifig. And then in the Knuckles one, they could have had either just Knuckles, or they could have added a different character that they haven't done. Like, they could have added, I don't know who would have gone though, maybe Metal Sonic. I know that would be a bit out of place, but you know, they could have worked it out, or they could have just made that set cheaper and had Rouge in this one instead. I think that would have been really nice, because then you would have had Rouge, Shadow, and E123 Amiga, which is Team Dark. But anyway, moving on. I really love the Shadow minifigure. It's probably my new favourite minifigure ever, to be honest with you. I love the headpiece. The headpiece looks really good. The spikes going up is perfect. I'm so glad that they've made the red on him look really well done, and it's not like all patchy, or it's not too faded, because it is like obviously printed on black and it works really well here. I think they've done it so well. Even the eyes look really great. They've managed to get the angle perfect with his eyes. In fact, the angle, I think, looks better than the one on the Sonic one. And he's got his nice red eyes. He's got his downward frown, which is ideal for Shadow, because he doesn't smile that often. You've got the fur on the torso. The legs are really good. They've even got like on his rocket skates, they've even got like the little outlets in the gold there. And you've got like the rings around his legs there, which obviously are quite square, and you've got the ones on his arms. The arms have arm printing, which is great. The only thing I don't like is that there's no side leg printing, which would have been really, really good, especially because they did that on the Sonic one. But I can forgive it because the rest of the figure is so good. On the back, you've got some nice printing there as well. And the legs are dual molded though. Everything obviously you can take apart. The head is obviously a separate piece to the body. But yeah, I love this figure. My second favourite figure is the Gingerbread Man one, probably. That was my favourite, but now this has probably overtaken it. And as for the rest of the set, the bike is really well done. Some people don't like it, and it is a bit oversized for him. I've got to say, it is definitely, well, it definitely is, I would say, a bit oversized. But it's not so ridiculous to the point, like, it really bugs me or anything. Like some bikes that they do in Lego, which are, like, ridiculous. They're, like, 5 times the size of a minifigure or something stupid. But it does look kind of cool. I can't say it's bad, and I really do think it's good they included this. I'm kind of surprised, though, because it was only really in a couple of Sonic games. It was only really in the Shadow the Hedgehog game and in the Sonic All-Stars Racing ones. But I love it, and it's such a fun build. And I think the front wheel being in the red looks really nice. And I love how they used the paint roller pieces as the handlebars. I'm not a huge fan of this bit because it's quite thick and it's not very accurate. But I get what they were going for. And by the way, there were no stickers in the set, which is really great for me because it's not a 4+ set, and it's usually only the 4+ sets these days that have no prints at all. I mean, sorry, have no stickers at all. Either the 4+ ones or the super expensive ones, and even a lot of them don't even have all prints now. But so this is a print. But what really annoys some people, and I can understand why, is that they give you 2 of this piece of prints for both sides, but they don't flip it. So it actually doesn't look right on the other side. It's inaccurate, which is a bit annoying because they've gone to the effort to have all prints in this set, and then they've done a print that's wrong. It's just like a bit of a slap in the face for people who love prints in sets, and they get annoyed by stickers, and then they actually print something wrong. It's just a bit ridiculous. Even if they'd left this side one as a sticker because it was all about cost, they could have done that, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me too much, but I can understand why it bothers people. I quite like the back of the bike, how they've used this piece like a wheel arch piece to get that slope on the back of the seat. It's quite nice. The headlight is a bit strange looking, but it works, I think. The bottom of the bike you can see is pretty simple build. How they've used one of them shoe things. I don't know why they call them shoes, but they're like shoe piece, whatever they're called. Like holds everything together. Keeps it nice and smooth and tight at the bottom, which is really good. As for the Rhinobot, well, yeah, like I say, this is quite random for this set. I think it doesn't really fit the vibe, but it's a nice little build anyway. It's a bit gappy around here, which I'm not a fan of, but that's so that this can sort of move a little bit, and this can move up and down, so it's got a bit of motion, but it doesn't really feel that useful, so it's a bit too gappy in my opinion. This is quite open, which some people might not like because there's no gap. That means there's no top, on it. So you can't actually like close this little bird in that comes with it. The little flicky, I think it's called, yeah. I forget the names of some of the stuff, but I don't mind that because there's another use for this, which is kind of hilarious, which would explain why there's no top on it. And that is the fact that you can actually put a minifigure in it instead. So if you want, you could have Sonic sitting in it going for a little ride. And Shadow could, like, out of the goodness of his heart, be like, I'm going to save you, Sonic, this once, because, I know you're a bit annoying, but I'll put up with you and help you out this time. So yeah, but the Rhinobot has printed eyes again, and you do get a spare one of those eyes in this set, which is really cool. And there's another look at the Flicky, by the way, which is a white one. You get blue ones in some sets. I actually really like the white one. It's pretty snazzy. And as for the main thingy, which is like the barrier moving gizmo, well, you're supposed to be able to push down on this, and it's supposed to knock that off, which is a bit bizarre. And also, sorry, this is supposed to be up, so when you knock that down, it's supposed to knock that down as well. So let's do that again, shall we? Yeah, that goes up. And then this goes on there. I built this from the first time, believe it or not. How ridiculous is that? I actually built this mechanism wrong. I don't even know how I managed to do that, but I did. But yeah, you basically knock this down, and it knocks that down at the same time. And what you can do is you can put Shadow inside, so he's escaping. Hence the name Shadow Escape. But this is a print, which is really nice, but it gets pretty hidden away if you put Shadow in front of it. And spoiler alert, I'm not going to be putting Shadow in there because he's too nice to even have hidden by this. So he's going to have to stay on his bike, or he's going to be on a separate display with the other Sonic figs in a row. I could even put him on the Ideas Sonic set, perhaps on Green Hill Zone, or I could even have him just in a like race with Sonic and make some custom mock or something. I don't know, but I think this is I don't know. I still like, yeah, I do like this, and I get what they were going for, but like I say, I just think they could have made something better with this section. But yeah, look, he fits in there pretty well, which is good. At least it's not gonna have to be really super tight that it doesn't fit, because it is a concern. But I think if you had the arms forward, it would be really difficult. I don't know if you could put them right forward. You might be able to, but yeah. And basically, yeah, he pushes it down, and he's like, "I am the ultimate life form. I will kill you all." Yeah, but he's great. He's great. I love him, and the head for Eggman of the brick built one is quite cool. Obviously the colours are very in your face because it's the red, bright red, but it does look like Eggman's head, so I'll give you that. It's actually quite well done. The barrier feels a bit flimsy, but it's actually not as flimsy as it seems. And it's just like these weird Technic bits at the back to complete it, which is kind of cool, and it just like goes like that, which is kind of fun. Oh, that's come off again. But yeah, it's got little steps coming up to it, which is pretty nice. But there's not a lot else you really need to say on this, really. There's not a lot you need to say. I like the black and yellow colour-coded thing for the thing you push down. I suppose that's kind of nice and fits to something like Radical Highway, which is where Shadow usually hangs out. But I don't know. Yeah, I just love the bike. The bike is great. The bike is really nice. I mean, could it be better? Yeah, could they have done it with just a normal bike mold? But yeah, but that would be not as fun, would it? Really? No, it wouldn't. I'm glad they did this. I'm glad they did it. And the Rhinobot is fun. Even if it doesn't really fit with this. But like I say, you can put the flicky in it, but there's nothing to cover it over. That's why it's good for a minifig to sit in it and just be like, hey, I'm going on the bumper cars. Because it could be a bumper car. It's a weird looking thing. But yeah. I would say this set is mostly good, and the price seems not too bad. I wouldn't say it's great price, but it's not bad for what you get. And I feel like a lot of people will be getting this just mainly for the Shadow minifig. And I can see a lot of people getting this with VIP points, so they get it cheaper, so they can justify getting it just for this figure, and then perhaps selling the rest of the set or using the rest for parts, which is fair enough. Which is more than fair enough, because it's a great figure, like I say. And it does, as good as some of the other stuff is, this figure is obviously going to outshine the rest of it. And a lot of people have waited for years for Shadow as a figure, like I have. But I can also say he looks really good next to the Sonic figure, which is a big question of, will this go well? Will this look great if they will have to have a showdown or a race? And the answer is, of course, yes, they do look great together. And like I say, I think Shadow looks better than Sonic and actually outshines Sonic's one. Sonic's one, I feel like the eyes are a bit too far apart, whereas on Shadow, I feel like they're exactly how they should be. In some ways, the Sonic from the some of the other sets might be better. The one from the Ideas set, or the one from Dimensions, because the face looks slightly better, I think. Although I think the head mold is perfect and the torso is perfect. But what do you prefer, Shadow's figure or Sonic's? And if you prefer Sonic as a character, do you still think Sonic is a better minifigure than Shadow? Or do you think Shadow perhaps is the better minifigure though? And out of all the minifigures they've done so far, which includes Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Rouge, Shadow, Eggman, and the Cubot build, which is the best out of all of them? I'm sorry, Amy as well. I forget about Amy sometimes because she's a bit annoying, so I forget about her. But yeah, out of all of them, which is the best minifigure? I think Shadow, but you have your own opinions and you can tell me if you want. But apart from everything in this set, the last thing I need to mention, which isn't in the set but should have been in the set, is some accessories for Shadow, because, well, he needs some, really. I mean, he's awesome. He needs something. He needs his chaos powers. And how easy is it to include them? Because you can do chaos control. All you need is a chaos emerald. Pretty simple, really. You don't have to spend time building something massive, or you just need one piece. And he looks like he's using chaos control. So why did they not include that? And the green one is usually what you see him using, so I picked green. But yeah, why not? Why not include that one piece? They include like two that Rouge is holding in the Knuckles set, so why doesn't Shadow get one? He's more fitting. I know Rouge likes to steal stuff, but he should have got a Chaos Emerald, come off it. And then also, you can do Chaos Spear. You can use this weird piece that's got like a handle on, like a transparent piece that like a minifig can grip. And then a lightning bolt piece in yellow. And if you attach them together, it looks like Chaos Spear. Yeah, and perhaps isn't the most accurate in the world, but it looks kind of cool and it does work. Or if you wanted, you could just not have this bit on, and you could have it like him just holding it in a different way. You could have him perhaps throwing it overhead instead, like this type thing, which this kind of works as well, I think, in my opinion. So either of them options would work for Chaos Spear, and the last one is of course Chaos Blast. He could have a gun in this set as well, but LEGO seem to not want to do guns much. I won't show you that in this video, but there is a picture of him holding a gun, which I did on one of my YouTube shorts, which looks pretty nice. So you can see it there, and other people have probably done it as well. But there, you can also do Chaos Blast. I've just used these dish radar pieces in trans red, and I think it's quite a good representation of him building up his blast charge. There are probably other ways you could do it, where you cover the whole thing, but I think this looks really good, in my opinion, and it looks better in person than it does in a video. But I think it's really fun, and a nice inclusion for Shadow. It looks better, obviously, than the front than the side, but yeah. And, well, yeah, I just think there's so much potential with this figure, more than the set itself. But the set itself is good, and I think it's probably one of the best Sonic sets so far. It's probably one of the best up there with the one that had the Eggman robot in. I forgot what it's called. What was it called? The Death Egg Battle or something. That set. I don't know what it's called. I think that's probably the best one along with this one. But this one is the most cleanly built, because some people don't like all those like play feature stuff that you get with the weird ramps and all that stuff. And I can understand that. I prefer just the more simple ramps and more displays type sets that you get, like the Ideas one. I prefer that sort of thing. So yeah, I would say that sort of thing is better than the playset stuff. But that's just my view and what I like. So, but anyway, there's not a lot else I really need to say on this. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more videos. And see you again in the next one. Goodbye.